I wanted to make a physics-based game in PyGame. Not the kind where you throw characters about and watch chaos ensue like gang beasts or tabs, but something much simpler. How about a game where you have to balance an umbrella on a pigeon's head to stop it getting wet? So I opened up Replit and got to work creating an engine in PyGame. This time, instead of having Python draw placeholder shapes, I added actual placeholder images. This made implementing actual assets much easier, as I didn't have to worry about breaking functionality when removing shapes. I quickly realized that my understanding of physics in PyGame is limited, and I ended up with some quite quirky results. I eventually turned to ChatGPT for help, but even with some creative prompting, I didn't get very far. I kept coming close, but the gravity effect just wouldn't stick. I thought it might be to do with the collision area, so I switched the placeholder square out for an image of a bird. Still, I didn't get what I wanted. So it was time to change tack. Instead of balancing an umbrella on a pigeon's head, I thought I could have a long arm hold out an umbrella over the pigeon, shielding it from the rain, and then make the pigeon frantically run from side to side. This was so much easier to achieve than the balancing effect, and once I switched over to this idea, the game came along pretty quickly. I still wanted there to be a physics-based element, but that came with the rain effect. So I got to work creating some sprites and animations. And I've got to say, I'm quite proud of the animation that plays when the pigeon gets wet. After that, I added some finishing touches like making the rain spin and added variable rain speed to make the game a little more difficult. Honestly though, try as I might, the game just wasn't that fun. It was too easy, but tweaking the settings to make it harder quickly made it too hard. I just couldn't find a middle ground. Still, there's no such thing as a wasted experience. By making this game, I learned a few things. On a game of this scale, if the original idea doesn't work, it's probably not worth trying to force a new idea. I also learned how to use tiled to create tile sets and backgrounds in PyGame, which is going to be super useful for future projects. Mostly, this was an excellent opportunity to improve my pixel art and animation skills. I still think this game offers a funny premise, so maybe I'll come back to it in the future when my understanding of PyGame physics is better. For now, however, this game's gonna remain shelved. Perhaps I'll make the assets and source code available on itch.io. Check out the description to find out whether I could be bothered. Otherwise, you might want to join my Discord, which is also linked in the description. You've been watching Jimbo's Lab. Thanks for joining me.